because we're starting to get a better handle on the data. We're also able to make some changes to the forecast from about 24 hours ago. The timeline has shifted a little bit, now 1 o'clock in the afternoon to 10 o'clock at night. I mean, they're real close, almost right on top of each other through Thursday. So here we are on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Through the next 48 hours, we're all in pretty decent agreement between all the models, feeling pretty good about where it's going to go. So this is what Futurecast is saying, and I do have some good news tonight at 10. I do. If you watched earlier today, you probably saw the line moving through a little bit later in the day, and I said, well, if it comes through earlier, it may be a little bit weaker. Well, this doesn't look like too much out here, does it? At 6 o'clock in the morning. And good evening, folks, again. I'm going to have to kind of break into things here because we do have a new tornado warning in effect for parts of Pearl River County there. So this is your warm inflow that's actually coming into the lowering, and there's your lowering right in there. It's actually right behind this pole. That is the area that we're concerned about as you look off to the northwest. And you can see back in behind me here the arrow pointing out where that is. It looks like Ryan is somewhere kind of in this ballpark, and there's your couplet. The direction this is moving is off to the north and east and headed toward downtown Hattiesburg. It's also headed toward the campus of USM. And you can see the area of deep in rotation here, just off to the north of New Augusta. Storm chasers, again, just like Patrick reported, suggesting that a funnel cloud, a large funnel cloud, but they could not confirm if there was a tornado on the ground, crossed over 98 just off to the east of New Augusta. On the leading edge of this, they're concerned about little areas of rotation, mainly on the north side of this, so mainly for you folks in Leeville and Petal, but we can't rule out a little further off to the south at Palmer's Crossing. If they upgrade us to a moderate risk at some point for tomorrow. Now, it may not be the entire hatched area, but maybe an area inside of that hatched area, and it could be, if we go back here, something as small as this area here. And this is why I wanted to highlight this. The last couple of days, it's been showing it kind of curving off to the north, curving off to the north, no longer curving off to the north, but just to the east of the cone is that loop current, the one that all of the hurricanes over the years that have rapidly intensified have hit. Over on the radar, Southern Pine Electric radar, I know you see the green on here, and you think to yourself, well, hey, maybe we do have a little bit of rain out there, but actually that's just prescribed burns across the area. We're going to have to keep tabs on those, as I think those will actually offer the best chance for severe weather. While the line moves through, I think it's just regular thunderstorms with gusty wind. But nevertheless, I think it paints a decent picture as to why I know a lot of you folks, when we have two different tropical systems out here in the Atlantic that we're dealing with, you'll say, oh, well, what if one runs into the other one? Then do we get like some super hurricane? No, it's kind of no different than this. They'll run into each other, they kind of probably tear each other apart. You know, you end up with one, we can call this one tropical storm, you end up with another one, and if they get too close, well, yeah. Saying that it is warmer to a specific degree at this point versus 100,000 years ago on that isotopic record, you can't do, but you can graph all those numbers and say that to some degree, not a specific number, but to some degree it is warmer or cooler than it used to be. I mean, it just kind of falls apart into nothing. And we've been real lucky all winter and into early spring long, where a lot of these systems, as they glide our direction, just kind of go and kind of fall apart as they do so. A Valentine's Day poem for everybody. The radar is not red, nor is it blue, but it will be green, because I've got a whole bunch of rain coming for you. Yeah, I was looking at the rundown for this show. I was going, we got stacks of paper
we're
here.
We're using a lot of paper in the office.
There's a lot of trees that paid their life to bring good football to folks at home.
It is the Pine Belt. So
we got plenty of trees. USM got on the board first with a home run solo shot from Matt Guidry. And we've got some action happening behind me, but I'm not going to turn around to see what it is. What I will do instead is let you know that highlights of that first game are coming up in sports. Check this out. Look how high up in the atmosphere this thing got. That's space. That's so cool.
As promised and guaranteed by our weather guy, we had sunshine
So says
today.
Lilja.
He actually said guaranteed that the other night on the air.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, Thursday,
Well,
I think,
you're a little
was the guarantee.
nervous about saying the word guarantee.
No, not at all.
No?
So if you'll indulge me for a moment, something I've always wanted to do, let's take a look outside our Alpha Insurance camera network out there at Forest General. We're taking a look back toward the intersection of Hardy Street and 49. And on the right-hand side of your screen, somewhere kind of in the middle, is you'll probably see myself, Mon, my cameraman, and Patrick as well. So I got messages from folks on Facebook early this morning Now we're super excited at 6 and 7 and 8 o'clock. I then heard from the same people at 3, like, all right, can we turn the faucet off now? Like, it was except for bingo, heat. Use the air conditioning for tomorrow. If you don't have AC, try and find some. If you got to work outside, take plenty of breaks. Folks, and welcome back. We got actually something kind of cool happening on top of us, right? See this little stretch of cloud cover right here? That's the stuff that's blowing right over the top of us right now. We'll run it back one more time right there. We'll talk more about where that came from here in a couple of seconds. The severe thunderstorm warning for parts of northern Mississippi dropped. They're just dealing with rain now. But that line is really cool. We can zoom this back. So you heard Carrie and Steve, they're talking about the explosive cyclogenesis. That's this little system right here. We got rain from the border with Canada all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, so we got that little line of cloud cover in there. That line of cloud cover is the tops of the clouds that were associated with the thunderstorm that produced the tornado that Carrie was talking about just a couple of seconds ago. Check this out. We'll run this thing back here in a second. This is just all the severe thunderstorm and severe weather reports, power outages. Here's the tornado. It's going to pop up right on your screen, boop, right there. Okay, there's the line of storms. We can just follow this. You can see all the damage reports back in behind it. We're still following. It's the same thing. And there's the tops of the clouds. Blew right over the top of us. How cool is that? There it is again. Just drifts in our direction. Look at all of this. Just all of these reports. These are broken trees and power lines getting knocked down. This is power outages. We've got fog and snow. I mean, this thing is massive. It's no wonder it topped all the headlines for today. Getting in here a little bit tighter for us. The marginal risk for severe weather stands for now for tomorrow. I tend to think they'll probably trim this back to the north as well. It may only include some of our northern and northeastern counties. We're not concerned about flooding as much anymore either. That's some good news. The timeline still holds from about 2 o'clock in the afternoon through about 10 o'clock at night. Can't rule out a tornado only because it's South Mississippi. We're not actively looking for tornadic weather to develop. We're mainly concerned about straight line winds in excess of 60 miles an hour associated with any of these thunderstorms that do develop. And we can't rule out a little bit of hail. The flooding risk is only there because the water table is already so high. I don't know that we see much more than an inch of rain, but if that comes in one thunderstorm in your neighborhood, it may cause some very localized flooding, but not widespread stuff. All right. As we head through tomorrow morning, here we are about 8 o'clock in the morning as you wake up and get out the door, a couple of showers, but this is it in the afternoon. This is your marginal risk for severe weather. The line eventually sharpens up a little bit as we head toward 10 o'clock at night, and then I think we finally get some thunderstorms to develop along this as we head through the overnight hours, but by that time, I think for the most part, the front's already by and everything's elevated and we don't really have to worry about severe weather. So that's why we're not too terribly concerned anymore. You know, a couple of days ago, we were looking at this going, eek. But the good news is the cyclone bombed out in the plains, and it saved us from dealing with a lot of the roughest stuff. And well, we may have some lingering cloud cover and maybe a couple of showers trying to sneak through here during the day on Friday with about a 30 to 40% chance for rain there. So some storms possible for tomorrow, strong to severe possible, but again, this is not something we're actively watching for and looking out for. It's just regular rain with some thunder and lightning and a little bit of wind. We're drier next week, which is the good news, and a little bit cooler as well. In fact, take a look at this. The next 7 days looks nice. After the rain tomorrow, 50% shot, 40% chance on Friday. A lingering shower in the morning on Saturday, but then we get back into sun. Carrie, Steve, folks at home, buckle up. We got sun on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week.